Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft 3. So I didn't get to upload, actually I didn't get to play a lot 2 days ago, and I didn't get to upload anything yesterday, but I was playing around a lot last night working on FoolCraft stuff because I was kind of leaning towards doing some Project E, and then the Project E stuff is like super late game, and I wouldn't be getting anywhere after I looked into it, so I was like, we're gonna put that off till later and I'm going to go do some exploring and work on FoolCraft because that's something I can actually start getting into for now. So, here's kind of where I'm at. I finished off all of the fundamentals stuff, which involves a lot of just figuring out how the little basics of everything work. I haven't really done Golemancy yet. Auramancy is just basically build this glove, and the glove takes the place of your thermometer. But then I went ahead and made a thermometer again anyway, so I could scan things because it consumes that for your glove. And then there's the infusion where you build this armor set, these like robes. They discount you making things in your arcane workbench. There's no headpiece for these yet, and then whenever you get into doing artifice is where you make the goggles. One of the things I kind of had a little hiccup on was how do I get these brass ingots? It's iron in the crucible with some instrumentum, the tool aspect. And you can get this really easy with like wooden tools. Just throw together a bunch of like, I was doing shovels. Just throw together a bunch of shovels, and you can make brass ingots pretty easy that way. And then having all three of these finished goes ahead and opens the Golemancy, which is really nothing here. It just points you over to this, and then you start right here on the basic, and then it's like, hey, here's all the materials that you can study for golems, and I've got all the materials unlocked. It's basically just find these, put them in your inventory, scan them, whatever. So those all were unlocked by the time I got here. The thing I'm doing right now is these clockwork mines. This is where you build the brain for your golem, I guess. I'm not really super far into it. I'm just getting started with this section. I got the brass plates, the comparator. I've got this all set up somewhere. It's probably in my crafting table. But here's the room I dug out and put all the stuff in. I've just got some redstone lamps that I found in a dungeon. I've got all the warded jars across this wall. I'm going to end up putting pipes and tubes and stuff probably around here. I'll have to redesign it more than likely. Here's the arcane workbench, the focal manipulator. This is the thing you make your focuses out of. They took the place of the wands in old FoolCraft versions, and they work more like the Psi mod now, where you have like the Psi mod is this kind of magic-y tech mod thing where you build a gun and you program your gun to do spell effects and stuff. And that's kind of what you can do with this, but you have to research all the little bits and pieces, and then you kind of program your wand focus, but it's not a wand focus, it's a glove focus because it goes in your little gauntlet thing here. And I just made the one it kind of starts you with, and you get to name it and do whatever you want to with it. Can I put it in here and show what it is? Yeah. So I have touch. Well, first, this right here is you as a player. So the source of the spell. So you can't really move that to start with, at least. And then there's touch, which is the range, like how far is your spell origin from you. And then I got the elemental thing started. You start with fire, touch, and this root. That's called a root right there. And then I did the elemental expansion is like the next tier up. And it unlocked frost, earth, and air. So these are basically just damage spells that you can program into this. But right now this is just touch and fire from root. It's root, touch, fire. You can take the touch thing out of it and just have root fire, but then whenever you use this, you light yourself on fire because it doesn't have a range to it. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Here's the research table. I had a bookcase there, and then it got lit on fire from the lava when the fire tick went off. So I put glass around this. I'm going to re-put the bookshelf right there. But here's where all the research happens. I'm making a ton of paper. I've got a paperwood tree or two right there, making me tons of paper. I had a spiderweb sapling in there for a little bit, making some string, because I was needing string for some of the research beginnings. But for now, I'm mostly working down toward this end of the room. Crucible, the ever-full urn. So this thing, you eventually make that somewhere here in the alchemy section. Yeah, if you work from basic into hedge alchemy and then go down to there, you can build this thing. Not super difficult to make, really. You just throw it in the crucible with a bunch of stuff. 30 points of water, 10 points in earth, and 10 points in craft. And you can get this out of like clay and all kinds of stuff. Crafting table. Yeah, clay and crafting tables, basically. I think just one crafting table is 20 points in craft in Fabrico. So yeah, you just throw a flower pot in there and it comes out as this ever-full urn. And this thing just non-stop dishes out water to anything within 2 squares of it, 2 tiles of it. So it being right here fills the crucible up automatically anytime I need to use it for anything. Also, you can right-click on it with a bucket. I have this little warded jar on here just for no reason, because I had an extra 1, and I had them all the way across this wall already. I had 1 extra, and I was like, well, it'd be bad to put there. It doesn't look right on top of any of these, except for maybe in the corner. But I went ahead and just stuck it there, because it's got that little particle effect. Anyway, if you right-click on this with a bucket, you get your bucket of water, and then it uses up a little bit of V from the area around you, which replenishes slowly over time, so you don't really have to worry about using up anything. But underneath it here is the water source I was using before I made this. It's just a little 2x2 infinite source that is covered except for the corner. So I was just grabbing a bucket from here and using it to fill this. Anyway, so let me just show you a couple of tricks that I've figured out. I didn't play a lot with FoolCraft back in the day. I'm pretty new to it, but it's not too hard. Let's grab some shovels. One of the things that like I said, I had trouble with was brass out of iron. So I could just come over here, make a bunch of wooden shovels, and each one of these has 4 of this instrumentum aspect in it. And then you go and get some quartz, break down the quartz into these little slivers. Every 1 piece of like nether quartz gives you 9 of these slivers. And you can just go like drop 1 in there, drop in 2 quartz, you get 2 crystals. Every crystal absorbs 2 of the instrumentum and gives you 1 back. So you really get only 50% of your effective value here. So 1 shovel gives you 2 crystals, which is 2 of the aspect instead of the 4 that it says it has in it. So for starting off, to make crystals of any kind that you need, you just drop whatever you want in the crucible, toss these crystals in, and you get, or you toss these quartz slivers in, and you get whatever aspect you want out of it, 2 to 1. So that's pretty much how I got all of these different types here. And you end up having to make a lot of these different types to start with to do the basic, like, beginners research. Yeah, just research beginnings, basically. You have to use a lot of these different crystals. There's like 10 different ones that it wants you to make all at once, and you just kind of work your way through them. The other thing you can do, instead of getting a 50% return, is whenever you make the Essentia Smeltery, and that is on the other side here. Once you make this thing, ta-da, there you go, and then the Alembic, once you get these set up, you put some fuel in it, and then you drop whatever you want in here, and it breaks down the aspects in here. I'll do 3 of them. And then those go into the alembic. So I used 3 shovels, that should be 12. This would have given me 6 back. This gives me 10 back. So it's, according to the information provided, it's about an 80% return instead of 50%. Yep. And you can take the aspect V, whatever, this stuff, you can take it from the alembic with these little vials right here, these glass vials, 10 at a time. If you don't have any of these glass vials, or there's less than 10 left in these alembics, you can just grab the jar and right click on the thing with the jar, and it pulls it to the jar in any amount that's in there. So that's pretty good. But you can only carry it around in the vials at 10 at a time. So yeah, that's basically that. Simple enough. Let me toss a few more things in here. Does this do anything? Nope, can't even put that in there. Has no aspect. And I think that once this is in here, it'll stay there for a little while and then start dissipating over time. Maybe? I know it dissipates out of the crucible. That's one of the things about getting started, is if you don't have all your materials on hand and toss everything in a timely manner, the aspects start fading out and dispersing into the air. Well, that's still at 6. It should have moved by now if it was going to, I guess. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just grab that out of there. But yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing, is getting all this set up, playing around with it, walking around in the world and scanning everything under the sun, and even the sun several times. 6 times now. And then you come back here. Let's just do this real quick. Drop those in there. Drop those in there, get all the crystals back. And then that refills this. There's a little animation that plays sometimes where you see the water actually coming out of there and going over here. But I don't know. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. And we just toss these crystals back in here. But yeah, the next thing I need to do is work on thaumium. I'm having trouble getting the precanto, or whatever the like magic wand looking aspect is, to make thaumium out of iron. That's the only one I have trouble with. I had to use an enchanted book to get these, and I'm not sure where to get a good renewable source of that aspect from. So I will find out and let you guys know when I find out. The Arum aspect here, I don't even know, is it called aspect or V or whatever? The Arum, I'm just going to use the word aspect, whatever. This is from silverwood logs. So if you guys have a silverwood tree, you can get that from there if you're looking for that kind of early in the setup. Cinder pearls have them also, but those you can't regrow. You just have to go find them. Great wood has the life aspect in it, but you can get that from basically every kind of animal meat that you can find laying around. What's the other one that I had trouble with? Oh, trap. At some point, it wants you to find this vinculum trap, or imprison. This aspect is actually like not in trap doors. It's not in the wooden trap door or the iron trap door. It's not in like any of this stuff here. You actually find it in fence gates somewhere. According to, yeah, there we go. Spruce fence gate has 5. Birch has 5. Jungle has 5. The oak one, though, doesn't have anything in it, and I'm not sure why, but the oak doesn't work. Spruce, birch, I went ahead and used birch for mine, And then there was another thing that had it in it. Oh, amber. That's right. Amber has it. That was another easy one. Amber's got 10. And then 10 of the, I'm just going to say glass. I don't know what it is. Aspect. Vitreous. But yeah, Amber's got the trap and the glass. But you can just use, for vitreous, you can just use glass for that one. It's like several points per piece of glass. Pretty easy. But yeah, I hope that helps you guys out. I found a bunch of these Vish rooms off in a magical forest. They have some decent aspects in them. They have that little magic one that I'm looking for, but not enough to really be concerned about. I need a way to farm these, if there's a way to do it. I don't think there's a way to do it. But yeah, I need to find a way to get that. Otherwise, I'm going to set up an enchanting table and just make enchanted books, like tier 1 enchanted books, and use those. That'll be like the only way for me to do it, I think. Just to make thaumium. And thaumium, really, I'm only going to use for maybe the armor, but probably not even the armor. There's some tools. You have to use some of the thaumium tools to make the upgraded ones. Like, you can enchant them to be better and have, like, special properties and things. And then there's, like, you use the plates, I think, for golems at some point. Yeah, complex automation and stuff. Better Essentia smeltery. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, that's, like, a whole day of work. Me running around, getting all this stuff researched and put together and figured out. But if you guys have any questions about it, go ahead and leave some comments, and I will try to explain how it all works. But probably the most complicated part, not complicated, but time-consuming, is the research. There was one of the research options here that I had pretty high percentages in that I was trying to complete, and it required one of the phases of the moon as a research paper. One of these here. I believe it was this one, Waning Gibbous. And the day that this occurred on was the day before I needed it. So I had to wait for an entire, like, week in Minecraft for the moon to come back around to the correct phase so that I could scan it and get the research for it. But now that I've got one, a little bit of lag. There it goes. Now that I have one, I can just put it in my inventory whenever I need it. And the research table will sit there and wait for you. Here we go, Waning Gibbous. The research table will wait for you to get the items you need, as long as you need to. So you don't have to worry about the research just stopping or disappearing whenever you close the table. It'll keep your progress in the table until you say, hey, go ahead and scrap it, or just break the table, basically. Yeah, I already got that one. Yep, right there. But yeah, oh, real quick, one thing I wanted to do. I'm going to scrap my armor, at least the helmet, because it's all getting fairly broken from me running around and killing stuff and getting lit on fire and running around in the nether and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just scrap out my armor. Do I want crystals or do I want... Let's go ahead and use these jars. It's only 2 different aspects. So I'm going to have to refuel this. Let me go grab another bit of charcoal. There. I changed this a little bit too. I had a slightly larger chest here. I went ahead and got a storage crate. Put a storage crate here full of sticks. So it now holds all of my sticks ever. Even though I'm still getting more. It actually held all of the sticks I had in the entire base. Yeah, it holds like 4.5 chests or 4 1/3 chests worth of stuff. Something like that. Alright, toss that there. I'm surprised shift-clicking charcoal just then didn't put it up here and break it down into Potentia and Ignis. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna scrap my armor. I might as well do the whole set since I'm wearing the Thaumic stuff. And this is a lot of Essentia that it's going to build up in here. A lot of these aspects are going to get built up in here. But I'm going to put them in the jars. I don't know how much it's going to hold. This top one is only getting the metallum, I think that is. For now. I hope that doesn't overfill this. Nope, we're good. Alright, so that bar is how full it is total. And then this is going to go here. There should be a way to move it from there to here so that the other aspect can get in there. But I think it has to take all of it out first, and then it all goes up at once. And the next one slots into the bottom here. Alright, let me grab one of these. Thunk. Grab that. How much does it hold anyway? I don't even know. Thunk. And then I want to grab a label. I've got 2 left. These blank labels. Label it. That way it doesn't get used for something else and I know what's in there without having to worry about looking at it up close. Yeah, metallum. Bloop. 130. 136. I can put a pipe from this into the jar, but I'm not sure if the pipes work correctly these days. I know they were kind of a hassle in earlier versions of FoolCraft. Oh yeah, that works. Not all at once, it's getting there. $74, $75, $76. I don't know how much I'm going to have in there. But that other aspect should be coming through any second now. The other one was like armor or something. Past 200. Oop, we got a rumble. What was the rumble? It's not full yet. I'm trying to figure out how full this jar is. Does it hold like 250 or something? 219 is where it stopped at. Okay, now it's getting this other one. Alright, so we're going to move this jar back. Let's just put it in line. I kind of don't like that one being right there, because it's in front of the other. It looks a little cluttery with one right there. And we're going to put one here. Put this Essentia tube back, and that will start filling up with that one. And label it. Thunk. There we go. And then I can just recycle my armor and reuse the V from it. Can't make more armor out of it this way, but it wasn't wasted. If I ever need these Essentia for anything, I've got them handy. Like this one to make from tools. Any of my tools that are about to break, I can just drop in here and recycle into essence. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Just a quick, here's what I've been doing for like a day and a half. If you guys have any questions about FoolCraft, this is FoolCraft 6, by the way, if you look it up. There's not a whole lot of information on it, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm just looking for the wrong stuff. But it's a lot of trial and error, and looking through how things used to be, and then, you know, it's like, oh, this is the new version, that's the old version, whatever. But I don't even know how to equip this to my glove yet. There's some way to do it, and I don't know how to do it, but I can't use it yet. There's a keybind for it somewhere. Offhand? No, it's like shift something. I don't know it. But anyway. Yeah, so that'll do it. Till next episode when I go do something else. Oh, I need to make a kitchen. That's what we'll do. I'm gonna dig out right here and put a kitchen so that I can have a big giant storage space right underneath here to actually store the food in. So this can be just for growing instead of growing and storing the food, because this is kind of full. Kind of really full. Yeah. So I'm going to dig out an area like right here for a kitchen, and then actually have a bedroom somewhere. Maybe here, and just move all the storage. I don't know. Anyway, I got a few more pets, but I'll talk about them later. Not super important, and we're running a little bit long. So yeah, until next time, thanks for coming by, thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Have a good day.